Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a build guide for the Arcane Archer, which is a new subclass in patch 8 for Baldur's Gate 3. This is part of the stress test and I'll be going through the full class and showing off gear options and how to use it in combat. It's actually got some pretty cool ways to use the abilities that you get. You get special arcane arrows that do weapon damage plus additional 1d6 or 2d6 of a damage type, and then have special abilities like blinding the target or being able to seek out the target, which is actually really cool. So I'll be going ahead here with the fighter. You get yourself that good old second wind bonus action heal. And for the fighting style, normally defense for the +1 armor class is going to be the absolute best, but archery, it just makes sense for this one. I personally prefer defense, but we're going to go with the archery for the +2 to ranged weapon attack rolls. And in addition, we're going to go for skill points of 14 strength, 16 dexterity, and 16 constitution, with 10 intelligence and wisdom and 8 charisma there. Wisdom saves are going to be the worst thing against us, so you can take some points out of either of these stats and put up your wisdom if you'd like. However, this rolls pretty decently. So we'll go through this here and I'll show you the build guide. So at level 2, you get the ever powerful action surge, giving yourself an extra action, which can mean six attacks one turn. Pretty crazy. Now for our subclass, we're going to go obviously with the Arcane Archer here. You're capable of weaving magic into your attacks, giving your archery a supernatural quality and your foes something to fear. And with this, we get a choice of a cantrip. I think guidance is great for the 1d4 bonus ability checks. This is a concentration, but we don't have any other concentration, so that works well. You also got the light or the true strike, although true strike using advantage, getting a advantage on an attack for a whole action actually really sucks. And for our arcane arrows, we get some strong ones, like banishing arrows can banish a target. Beguiling arrows can do psychic damage and make them charmed. The bursting arrows will explode in a huge area of effect, which is actually really strong. It's a 3-meter radius, which is large. Those get enfeebling arrows, which will feeble the target, make them do less damage with strength-based attacks. A grasping arrow, which will do poison damage and target or deal damage to them as they move afterwards. And then we got the seeking arrow, which is great. It does 1d6 bonus force damage, but it'll find the target. Like, it can curve around walls similar to how magic missile works, and it applies fairy fire for 2 turns. We also get the shadow arrow, which can blind a target, and the piercing arrow. I think the best ones to go with are bursting arrow, seeking arrow, and piercing arrow, but we do get to select another one at level 7 and level 10. So piercing arrow is huge because it hits in a very large straight line, which can be very effective. So we're going to roll with that there. Now, once we get ourselves to level 4, we get ourselves a choice and a feat, and I think it's best to boost up our dexterity overall, so we're going to roll with that. And at level 5, we get the extra attack from this, which is great. This means we can do 2 arrows per turn. Level 6, we get ourselves another feat, which I, again, recommend bumping up the dexterity to 20 here. At level 7, we get ourselves the magic arrow, which overcomes resistances to physical damage with our arrow attacks. And we have the curving shot, so if you miss an attack, you can use a bonus action to make the attack curve and hit another target, which is actually pretty crazy. And we had a choice of another arrow here. I think shadow arrow for the psychic damage and making the target blinded is our best choice here. Now, once we go to level 8, we get another feat. I think that the sharpshooter is actually the best one. This will give us a +10 damage on our attacks, but a -5 penalty to attack rolls, which we can toggle on or off. And we don't get penalties from high ground rules. So that's pretty good. Now, once we get to level 9, we get Indomitable, which allows us to reroll our saving throws if we fail a saving throw. Level 10 gives us another arcane arrow, and we get to choose another one here, with grasping arrow being pretty solid. Take your preference, but this one will make them take extra damage as they move around, which can be pretty nice. At level 11, this is where we get our improved extra attack, which is a big power spike for us. And for the final level, we can add in the War Cleric. With the War Domain Cleric, what we can get out of this is 3 bonus action attacks, which will give us 4 attacks per turn for 3 rounds, which is pretty crazy. We don't have to add in an extra class. You could also add in the Warlock. The new Hexblade can give you charisma scaling, and we could change our stats around to focus on charisma. There's a few other choices, but we're going to keep it with the full 12 levels. And Crossbow Expert, this is where things can be interesting. So you don't have to take this, but I'm going to show you the theory behind it. So attack rolls don't have disadvantage at melee attacks. So we can do crossbow attacks close range, and we can hide out with this. So this is actually pretty good, although we do have to use hand crossbows with this to maximize the damage. I would prefer using the Gaunter Mailbow there, as that one is pretty strong. However, this is also pretty good. Crossbow Expert is kind of underrated because you can do melee range attacks, and this is where things get pretty crazy. So you could use that. We'd also go with the ability score improvement, take up charisma or constitution for better survivability. You can go with the Savage Attacker feat to reroll damage die. But I'm going to show off what you can do with a Crossbow Expert, because it's actually pretty cool. We can hide out and get some pretty fun advantages from this. So what this ends up looking like, we got all of our arrows here, and for gear, I think to maximize damage, we got a sword and shield here. So I got Baldur Luve, early game weapon. It's pretty solid, although you can go with something different. Now, there's a few other options. Like if you want to use a two-handed sword, I would recommend always having a shield. So use a weapon that's going to be able to be used with that. Night Rolling is also kind of fun. You can also go with like the Justiciar Scimitar here. However, if you went on the evil route, we get a very powerful weapon here with the Shar Spear of the Evening. This gives us blindness immunity. So what we can do is we can create darkness and hide out in it and shoot from our darkness. This is going to be the most powerful version of this build. There's also a helmet that'll give us this ability too. So I got the Balduran helmet here, which will give an additional bonus to our armor class. But the Steel Watcher helmet can make it so that we don't get blinded. And advantage on Constitution saving throw checks, which is all right. But the big benefit of being able to see in darkness, we can hide out in and shoot our arrows from there. Stealth Archer lives forever. Cloak of Protection, we got a solid 29 armor class with the Armor of Agility and the Ballast Armor here, which gives a plus bonus to our attack. We can go with Helldust Gloves to give us additional fire damage on our attacks. It's probably going to be the most offensive version of that. Early to mid game, you got the Dark Justiciar Air Gauntlets, which will give you necrotic damage on your attacks. And early game, you can just go with Gloves of Dexterity and go all in on Strength if you wanted to. But I think with this matchup, it works pretty well. We also got ourselves a Legacy of the Master, which gives a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls with weapons. So if you don't want to go the Helldust Gloves, this gives you +6 damage, or 1 to 6 damage. This can also give us a bonus to our attack rolls too. And with the Armor of Agility, you don't have to take this. This is a late game option. Early game, go with the best armor you got available. Heavy armor works well. Now, the Ballast Armor actually works pretty good here because this is a piercing damage weapon, and we're going to be using crossbows. I am currently using Gaunter Mail here, but if we go with the Hellfire Hand Crossbow, we can go full stealth on them because the Fire Stoker will get additional damage on burning targets, and this can apply burning targets to the enemies. And with this, we can stealth out and do a ton of damage. Now for the rings and amulet, I went the Amulet of Greater Health for higher health. However, you can go with whatever amulet you want to go with. Even the Surgeon Subjugation amulet is pretty good for hitting critical hits, which we also got the Killer Sweetheart, which will give us a free crit, and the Ring of Protection that will give us an additional armor class point. I'm also going with Iconia's Walking Fortress to give ourselves a 26 armor class. Although, if we have ourselves the medium armor, we get 29 armor class, so that's also really nice. Now, with this, the big focus is using darkness and then attacking at close range with our hand crossbows, which will deal double damage because of the ballast armor, which I will demonstrate for you guys right now. Now, to start things off, we got ourselves our big boom arrows. So we have the Seeking Arrow, which can find people. We got the Bursting Arrow, which you'll see hits in a huge area of effect. So we could start off combat with this just to hit as many targets as possible. But we also have ourselves the Piercing Arrows, which you can actually do quite a bit of damage with because these go through everybody. So you can go with the Piercing Arrow, you're going to hit a number of targets, and always want to maximize the amount of damage that you deal with these attacks. So we didn't roll the best initiative. Again, another feat too that you could go with is the Alert feat, because that +5 to initiative is actually very effective here. But our way of playing this, I'll show you here in just a second. So what we want to be doing after we get all these attacks against us, we have a good armor class, so we're very hard to hit, as you can see there. But what we're going to be doing is we want to set up with darkness, as this allows us to fully go in on our stealth. So you got the Edge of Darkness here, which is a weapon attack that will apply darkness in an area. So we took him out, and now we're safe in our darkness. So with this, we can go ahead with just doing some crazy arrow attacks. So we have our Piercing Arrow here. You can move around to set up the Ballast Armor, because then they become they'll become weak to our piercing damage, which will blast away with that. As you can see, that took out both of them. And then we also got our Bursting Arrow here to be able to hit multiple targets. This one won't hit multiple targets, unfortunately. So we do... Oh, this one will, though. So we'll blast this here, and we'll roll with the critical hits. So, boom. That hit a large number of targets there. Perfect. So, yeah, you always want to maximize the amount of damage that you can pull off in a single turn. But what's also nice is we have Action Surge, so we can actually go pretty crazy here, because then we can follow this up with even more arrows. And we have the Seeking Arrows, so nobody is safe from us. We can continually keep blasting with arrows, and they will curve around to find the targets. So that's what's nice about that. And I guess we can just go with regular old arrow shots if you'd like as well. But the extra damage on some of these is really nice. You can also apply the Shadow Arrow, and if you have the if you got the Resonance Stone, which will create a vulnerability to psychic damage, whenever you do your Shadow Arrows, you can do them close range. That psychic damage will be doubled as well. We missed, so we can use the curving shot. I'm so glad I can actually show this off. So that curved and hit that target and took them out. So funny. But we'll follow up again with another one. We don't have another bonus action, so hopefully that hits. 50 and 22. That's why I said use the Baldur armor and use the psychic resonance stone, because that can really boost up your damage. And then we can follow up. I guess we have more targets coming after us because we took out a civilian by accident. But we can go ahead here with hitting them with a seeking arrow, which will find them and apply fairy fire sometimes. But we're just going to hang out in the darkness, because as you'll see, they're going to have a hard time with finding us and hitting us. So they're throwing attacks at us. That's fine. We'll just let that happen. They're not going to have a very good chance of hitting us, which is perfect. So sometimes they will act really weird with the darkness, but yeah, this lets you have a domain where you can hide out in and just kind of camp there, let people come to you, and they'll be blinded. They'll have a hard time actually hitting you. As you can see here, no one's been hitting me. We haven't even taken any damage yet, which is pretty crazy. That's combined with our high armor class and just hiding out in good position, so they have to take shots that are not optimal at us. And it'll also force some people just to dash towards us. They won't even know where we're at either, which is the beauty of this. So then we can follow up. We can do just main hand attacks too if you wanted to, but our arrow attacks end up being higher damage. So even at close range, you can just blast away with this. And you can see a single arrow, 72 and 22 damage with crits. Crazy. So with that, we also want to just continue to use whatever is going to hit the most amount of enemies at a time. So this one will do a bursting arrow and it'll hit that target there with the extra force damage. Not the most damage, but we can also go up and bum rush people too. So what we can do is, I don't want to use up all my movement speed, but we have piercing arrows, which we can then hit. I'm not able to hit that other target with it, unfortunately, but that took out them and it dealt a bit of psychic damage to that target. So that is all well and good. We also have our seeking arrows. We only have 2 more arrows left, so got to be a little bit conscious of how we use them. But I'll just go ahead and blast away with that. So the animations are really cool. That did a good bit of damage, and we'll use our final arrow here. That is fine. I just want to be able to hit this target, take him out. Perfect. And then we'll finish this one off too, hopefully. We got the hit in at least, and we'll end our turn there. As you can see, this is actually dominating them. They don't know what to do with the darkness, so they're just going to dash towards us most times. So that's really good. As you can see, they both end up skipping their turn, and then we can just attack from the shadows without getting disadvantage. And yeah, it does quite a bit of damage. So we'll just finish them off here, and that should hopefully be it. Oh, they missed. That's fine. We can always follow up with another one, and boom. The Arcane Archer is very strong, especially with this build in Baldur's Gate 3. Let me know your thoughts. This is from patch 8 in the stress test. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.